Hello there. As you might be able to tell, I'm a ghost. My name is not to be told, but to give a brief description of myself, I was one of the many students of the Castleton Medical College Chapel. As you can tell, yes. I decided to go to this college because as a young boy, I idolized Dr. Sheila Gridley, who in February 1818 founded the Castleton Medical Academy, along with Theodore Woodward and John Cazier. Sheila was a great role model and doctor, but sadly he died in 1826. I applied for many scholarships to this college, and I finally got into one with 44 students and 6 professors. Eventually, my freshman year, there were enough students enrolled to deserve the building of a new structure. The first and original medical building, before I became a student, was made of wood, was 20 by 48 feet high, and was 2 stories high. But as I had said before, my massive class of students permitted the building of a new structure. And this new building, as you can see, is also 2 stories high, but it seemed taller because it had a cupola and was furnished with a bell. On the first floor, there was a laboratory where lab equipment was also held, a study room, and a library room. On the second floor, there was a dissecting room and a study room under the skylight, which I personally enjoyed. On the second floor, there was also an anatomical theater where it had objects in it that looked like this. There are many publicity benefits to the Castleton Medical Academy. It was the first medical college in Vermont and was very successful. It was also one of the first 9 in the U.S. Many people from all countries, including the U.S., Canada, Brazil, Ireland, and France, all came to earn medical degrees here. Also, the poem of Hubbardton Raid gave us some bad publicity benefits. The students and myself were accused of robbing Mrs. Penfield Churchill's grave that was newly buried in East Hubbardton Cemetery. Here's a summary of what happened. We had the route and plan all designed out to go rob Mrs. Penfield Churchill's grave. So on the night of November 28, 1829, we headed up to East Hubbardton Cemetery. We knew exactly where her grave plot was, and we started exhuming the body. Once we got the body, we started running. We thought that no one had recognized that their beloved town member was gone, but apparently early the next morning, the sexton had discovered that the body had been missing. Of course, we didn't know that, so when we got to the medical chapel, crowds aroused outside in search of their town member. We hurriedly snuck through the back door and started to decapitate Mrs. Churchill. When she was beheaded, some took her body and tried to hide it under the floorboards, while me and my fellow friend took her head, tied a rope around her ears, and draped it around his neck. Outside, while that was happening inside, my professor was trying to keep the crowds down. He had sent one of our students to go retrieve a missing key. The thing that no one knew except for our students was that the key was right in his front pocket. So, upon the arrival of the missing key, the Hubbardton citizens raided the medical chapel. One of my unwise classmates had not placed the floorboard properly where the body of Mrs. Churchill has been lying. So, one of the Hubbardton citizens noticed that a peg was sticking up, and they retrieved the body. It was too late though, for it had already been decapitated, so it was unrecognizable. Eventually, me and my fellow classmate with the head did return it to the cemetery, but we were caught, and we were expelled. It was all worth it in the end though, because the Castleton Medical College did receive good publicity. In fact, as grave robbing was winked at by other medical
These were
schools.
some medical tools we used to decapitate Mrs. Churchill.
33 years after my expulsion in 1862, the Castleton Medical Academy closed. In 1865, the building was moved across the street to the Castleton Seminary, where it served as a chapel. Now it is still standing and it has been very beneficial to the Castleton State College. Of course, I died in 1909, but as a ghost, I have seen how it has been used as a dormitory, for music classes, as a library, and also as a classroom. Even as of late summer 2011, it has been used as a town office. They later had to move out though, and now it is once again conveniently used by the Castleton State College. Over the years, I have seen how very beneficial this medical chapel has been to the history of Castleton Seminary, Castleton Normal School, Castleton Teachers College, and Castleton State College. It was one of the first medical colleges in Vermont and one of the first 9 in the U.S. 1,400 men earned medical degrees here, which is more than any other medical college in New England. And without the Castleton Medical Chapel, Castleton would have had a short history